Suzume. Yeah, this is a review of Suzume. This film is on CrunchyRoll. I've never reviewed a film off of CrunchyRoll before, and navigating this app was insane in the membrane. But I heard that this was a CrunchyRoll exclusive, and it is. And I found it. And I watched it. And it does have an English dub. It does not have audio description because God forbids Sony pay for audio description for things, right? That's what I said about Gran Turismo. This is a Sony-owned streaming service. Uh, Sony, they're out there having to panhandle just to stay alive, just to be able to feed their family. They're on the side of the road with GoFundMe campaigns. They're like, we're Sony. Please give us money. It's very sad. Very, very sad. Obviously, deeply broke as a company. So much has gone wrong at Sony. Just they can't, for them to not be able to provide accessibility, just, the Gran Turismo, just nothing. So this is, this is another example of, hello. Crunchyroll has been around for a long time, so maybe accessibility, maybe audio description. I don't know. Just some thoughts. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Also, Japanese people, I think, probably like audio description as well. So, are they not creating? Does anime not have audio description in Japan? Just thoughts for people at Crunchyroll. Let's get on the board here. Let's do this. Let's move forward in time. I'm a blind film critic. I couldn't really understand this film. By the end, because I was paying so much attention to this film, I was honed in. I was like, every fucking detail. And there were things I was like, oh, that's a chair. Oh, that's a cat. but I found out those things like 30 minutes, 90 minutes into the film. Like I was just like, it's until somebody actually like audibly says something and they're like, why are you carrying around a chair? And I'm like, she's carrying around a chair. Ooh, this is interesting. And you're like, why is she carrying around a chair? That's a very weird thing to carry around. Of course, it all ties in later on by the end of the story, but I didn't know she was carrying around a chair for quite a while in the film. And then there's this little tiny thing that talks to her, and I know anime likes to play with, these things are like reality adjacent, so they often tell stories that are very human, but allow us to experience them through sort of like fantastical and just imaginational. That's a word I just created. Hashtag for word creation. Subscribe for that. Ways of being able to relate things to an audience, so that way you can feel what your character is feeling, but also see sort of like the wonder in the world around them, or the darkness, or the depending on the direction of the film. This film is kind of serious and kind of dark, and that's probably why it got some consideration. It's not your typical, I don't know, anime with I don't know, Pikachu in it. I don't know what you watch anime wise. I'm kind of new in this field. I'm breaking in. Mostly I just watch Miyazaki movies. I've seen a couple things that are not. I'm updated. I've seen Akira. I've seen Grave of the Fireflies. I saw the Metropolis anime. um, so I've seen a couple of things. Anyway, this is one that I wish had an audio description, because I was constantly like, oh, this doesn't make any sense, but okay, we're going forward. And sometimes it leads to like really hilarious dialogue where I just kind of giggled because what they said was so ridiculous. Like, I couldn't imagine walking up to somebody and there's an exchange between two people where I don't know, the guy was like asking Suzume about her son, and she's just like, he was the keystone, he's now in the ever after. And then his response was like, I saw the worm. I was like, what is this dialogue? I was like, I want to have this level of conversation in real life. So that's what I'm talking about. Like when it's like fantastical and extraordinary in its storytelling, and real life adjacent, is that there's something that's real that's happening here, right? There's a story and real emotions, but you wouldn't necessarily know that from describing somebody as the Keystone and then talking about the worm. But it's even out of context that doesn't really make. And you're like, where's the ever after? um, or hereafter? Was it hereafter? It's ever after. I believe it's ever after. Um, anyway, uh, but at the end of it, I know it seems like I'm giggling. There's a pack a punch in here. For anybody who's ever played zombies and knows what pack a punch is, Call of Duty Zombies. That's a shout out to you. Shout outs. I'm doing shout outs all over the place. I'm dropping pop culture references just nonstop in this. So subscribe. Yes, I used to be able to see, and I used to play Call of Duty Zombies, and now you know. Yeah, there's a pack a punch, not literally a pack a punch in here. That would be weird and amazing, but there might be. Actually, I didn't get audio description, and I can't see. So maybe there's a pack a punch machine in this, and I just didn't see it. So there you go. Now you're gonna have to watch and find out. But this film it ties everything in at the end, and it ties it in beautifully, and that's the point of it. Is it's one of those films that comes back around, and you're not really sure what you've just been watching for the last the 2 hours is the end mark. I should say like hour 45, but then like at the end they're like, oh, this is why we've been doing everything we've been doing, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck. I was just like, I was so emotionally torn apart like by the end of this film. This film that I could like barely follow, but because I did pick up on enough things, little things throughout the film, I was like, wow, that's where we're going with this. Damn, that's dark. Shit. All right. Okay then. Uh wow. I need a drink. You know, like it's there's a reason. Robot Dreams better be damn good, because this probably should have earned an Oscar nomination. That's all I'm saying. It's not getting a grade from me because it is unwatchable without audio description. There was a way I really just had no idea what was happening, and there's it seems like the movie is Suzume fighting earthquakes. And then that's not what the plot of the film is, but it's really hard to pick up on what the plot of the film is, and these characters are coming out. There's this guy that wants to be a teacher. Um, some of the dialogue in here. I know it's dub, but Jesus Christ, Jesus, the dub should just be a translation. Uh, some of it is just poorly written. There's one where Suzume is she's staying with someone. Uh, Spoiler not to be revealed. Um, and that person is like, oh, my babysitter canceled. I have nobody to watch my kids. Oh, who will do this? Who will do this task for me? Who will be able to watch my kids today? Meanwhile, it's like Suzume who's standing right there, grown adult, uh, enjoying the warmth of this home and the food and all that stuff temporarily, right? And there are these little kids that need to be looked after so that mom can go to work. And I'm just like, this scene is so heavy-handed. There's no nuance to it at all. It's just, oh, will anybody be able to watch my kids? I don't know. And then finally, Susan is like, I could watch them. That's the thing. I guess. Thank you. Thank God we can move out of this scene. Just ask Suzume if she can watch your kids. Don't go through this weird sort of like, is there anybody? There's no one to watch my kids. Oh, so yes, the writing in this is sometimes I was like, man, either the translation on here is awful, or the script is ridiculous, but thematically, the plot and how it gets you, and you don't even know you're gonna be get, you don't even know you're getting got, get got it, get that John Gotti. Yeah, the fact that that happens in this film blew my mind. It blew me away. People are like, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man needs to win, Spider-Man. I was like, have you seen Suzume? I mean, like, I haven't seen it with audio description, but I really want to. It's not available, doesn't exist, but damn. Um, wow, this is this is an ending. It's the kind of ending that I'm afraid the sequel to Spider-Verse will have. You know, that they were setting up for, but they were too afraid to have in one film, so they split it into two. Yay. Um, yeah, did you guys ever think about the fact that maybe Spider-Man got ditched down to one nomination because it's a part one, and maybe The Boy and the Heron is about to win an animated feature? Because I am. I think about that all the time now. I'm totally there. And Miyazaki beats Spider-Man, and the internet loses their minds. Um, it's a shame that this wasn't nominated. It's probably just due to the lack of animated features that I've seen this year to create my list. It's going to be in my top 10. Just even without audio description. There's some shit there's some shit animated films this year that I didn't like. They're just not going to be in my top 10. And this one, at least at the end of the film, I was like, wow, damn. But Crunchyroll, here's the thing. Here's the rub, Crunchy. Mr. Roll. Um, blind people, okay? We exist. Hi. Hello. Nice to meet you. Lots of people still they come from having had sight, moving into not having sight. And that means that they like to enjoy the things that they enjoyed before. I think there's an assumption that everybody who's blind was born blind at birth. And one of the reasons I do this is because I'm trying to be a cautionary tale in life and tell you that for 34 years I lived totally sighted with 20/20 vision and then kind of just really rapidly lost my vision. So, you have to build the accessibility that you might need one day because you'll want it when it's there. We can't just keep going around our days and just being like, nah, fuck the blind and the deaf and the wheelchair people, fuck them. They all need to die off anyway. Oh shit, I became one. Damn it. You know, I feel like that's the attitude so many people take is they're like, no, we don't really need access. Just ignore them. Just ignore them. There aren't that many of them. And then you become one and then you're like, fuck. Damn it. Now I understand everything they were talking about. So, yeah, make the accessibility that you might need one day. Because there are a lot of people who were anime fans and now they can't be because neither you nor Funimation carry audio description. Hell, The Boy and the Heron was released theatrically by G Kids without audio description. So this whole thing is being blocked off, and anime is a thing. There would not be two streaming services if there was not a demand for it in America. There'd be one, but there's enough of a demand for anime, enough of a strength for people to want to watch anime in America. And guess what? Some of those people are blind, and they need your accessibility. I'm gonna guess some of them are deaf too, but often anime has subtitles. You can watch it in the original language. They should still have captioning, but it's probably less of an immediate an immediate thing for them. Although, I do have to say, from an auditory perspective, I loved the score to this. Loved the score to this. I immediately took out another American film and put this in my top 10 scores. I was like, oh my God, this score. We do not recognize anime scores enough, but damn, there's something to that. When people tell you that they want to write scores for video games and stuff, it's because they've grown up listening to this stuff before, and it's really good. I don't know what's happening over. We need to just start recognizing. There needs to be like a requisite spot for a Japanese composer every year. Just like just stop recognizing four, just recognize four whatevers, and then make sure a fifth spot goes to somebody from Japan because what they're doing over there is different. It's interesting. It's beautiful. It's captivating. Sometimes it makes up for like entire scenes in films where you're like, I don't know if this is working, but oh my God, that listen to that music. Like I could just listen to scores of anime, just wow. Um, but unfortunately that's all I'm doing right now is just kind of casually listening to chunks of things because something like Crunchyroll doesn't want to give me an audio description or give any of its subscribers audio description. So let's have a conversation. Um, Make sure to check out the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It's a branch of the American Council of the Blind, and they'll give you more information about audio description in case you don't know what that is. In case you've just come here and you're like, what is he doing? We're doing Crunchyroll? It'll list films that have audio description and where you can watch them. You'll notice a distinct absence of Crunchyroll on that list. And there's a reason for that, and Sony is the reason. So, let's get with the program. Let's get audio description on these titles so I don't have to say what I'm about to say. Sadly, Suzume, my grade is unwatchable. Needs audio description. I was having a hell of a time trying to figure out this movie, and there are things that I didn't appreciate learning, like she's been carrying a chair around for 30 fucking minutes before somebody goes, what's up with the chair? I was like, oh my God, she's been carrying a chair around this whole time. And then somebody said something about the cat, and I was like, there's a cat? That was a cat? So yes, audio description would have answered those questions for me a lot earlier. And if I was watching this film with a sighted friend, which I do, I have friends who can see. They would have had to like explain things to me, and then it ruins the experience for them because they can't just sit back and watch the film because they're like, oh, this film doesn't have audio description. Oh, he needs to know this. This happens to me all the time with people that I watch things with who try to fill in the gaps like they're the audio description narrator, and then they're not really getting to watch the film, and we end up talking through the film sort of out loud. And if we're doing that in a theater, obviously it's going to ruin the experience for people around me, but I just need to go live in a corner? No, we're not doing that. So that's why I'm here. So like and subscribe so I can continue to do this. And I think I'm going to call it Crunchyroll. I add this to my list of streaming services that I'm going to go after because Crunchyroll has been around for way too long. At least like 10 years, I think. Honestly. Seriously. I think Crunchyroll has had its 10-year anniversary, and the fact that it doesn't have audio description, this and Stars bother the ever-living shit out of me. Because they've been around way too long at this point to not have audio description. Which is why I subscribe to them, so I can bitch about it. Welcome, Crunchyroll. It's 2024, and I've got my sights set on you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.